Okay, so 2 days ago, I wanted to learn about the chemical weapon attacks in Syria, and then everything that went on with the Iraq conflict, and then yesterday was ISIS and more of Iraq. All right, that's where we're currently at right now. So I feel like I have a very good understanding of where ISIS comes from. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on in Iraq over the past 10 years. I know a bit about the chemical weapon attacks in Syria, but I don't. But I think tonight I'm going to look at how the Syrian civil war started and what's going on with that. I think that's the dream. One of the things I've noticed about the Middle East, I think that it feels like, like Pokemon Go. You know how you have like red, blue, and yellow? It feels like you have it feels like everybody's divided with like their own Pokemon Go team in the Middle East, except you've got like Sunni, Shia, and the yellow people are like the Israel that nobody really likes. Are you taking notes / writing important shit down? Yeah, kind of. I'm just reading and watching a lot. I figure that I think that the more you read, the more you look up, the more things kind of make sense. I think. Have you watched the PBS Frontline piece on ISIS? I think that's actually what I watched. One of the things I watched last night. Are you talking about this documentary?
Iraq's human rights are maintained.
I watched this last night. This is some crazy shit. Did you know that in the capture of Mosul, 800 ISIS fighters went to Mosul with the intention of breaking some of the Sunnis political prisoners out of jail? 800 ISIS combatants went to Mosul to break some dudes out of jail. That's all they wanted to do. And then when they show up, they like accidentally capture the entire city because the Iraqi military was so fucking bad. It didn't help also that all of the Sunnis there fucking hated I guess the Shia majority or the Iraqi people that ran the country. So I mean that didn't make things easier. But there's a new one called Confronting ISIS from last month. Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Even if you granted his claims as a thought experiment, they don't connect things to what Trump is actually... Oh, I haven't even gotten to his claims yet. I figure that in order to... I don't... So... Here's the problem with my argument of that guy, is that the information that I rely on is usually meta information. So, for instance, I'm going by what other people are saying. I'm not a... there's like a name for this, like a primary source, secondary source, tertiary source. Is this what I'm thinking of? Where you have secondhand knowledge of, or I'll read somebody else's analysis. But the problem is the Ryan Dawson guy has a deeper level of information. So if I say something like, I'll use the chemical weapons example. If I say something like the chemical weapon attacks in Syria were done by Assad, the UN said it, and then he has a deeper level knowledge and says, no, I've seen those reports, that didn't actually happen. Like he has that kind of knowledge on all of these issues. So in order for me to challenge anything that he says on any of these issues, I have to get a fundamental underlying knowledge of everything going on, right? So that's why I'm not like, I think that fact checking his individual claims is a waste of time until I have like good background knowledge on all these areas. So I'm spending like 6 hours a night like just reading and researching all of this shit. You're reading curated information / secondary sources. You're not reading any primary sources. I mean, I would consider the people here, like the Jeffrey Dahms guy, I think, and the Ramsey General dude, like these guys are all primary sources in this documentary. The documentary on itself is a secondary source or maybe a curation of primary sources. But I would say that these people here, a lot of these people being interviewed are directly involved in the conflict, which makes them primary sources. And then when you supplement this with other things, I guess, or maybe I'm asking, I could be wrong. Like, this guy was an ambassador, chairman and chief executive of the Dubai-based Dragman Partners. This guy worked a lot with U.S. Relations with Iraq, and he was I don't know, no, I don't think he was ambassador, but he was like a right-man hand to the Maliki dude. And this guy had a lot of information. I would consider this like a primary source, wouldn't you say? No? You're seeing it through their filter. It may as well be a secondary source. Okay, so then what? Okay, well then I guess then all of his sources then are secondary sources. Unless you've actually been on the ground reporting, then those are the only things that you would consider to be primary sources. Okay, then I guess we're both using secondary sources now, and I was using tertiary sources before. Only if you see it for yourself is it a primary source. provides direct or first-hand evidence about an event, object, person, or work of art. Primary sources include historical and legal documents, eyewitness accounts, results of experiments. Wait, so don't these guys count as like eyewitness accounts? Or does it not count because I'm watching it through a documentary? What is your goal of all of this? I mean, the worst case scenario, I just gain a whole bunch of more information about everything going on in the region, which I don't consider to be bad. This is secondary because it's not presented as an original. Okay, so then this article, would you consider this article to be a primary source since it was written by this guy himself? How do you approach researching a broad topic like this that has a lot of bullshit around it as well? How did we do this? I guess like typically what I'll do is I think yesterday I wanted to learn about ISIS. So I'm pretty sure what I do is I literally Google like ISIS documentary or something like that. I don't know what I Google. I Googled something like that. And then I wound up with this. So then basically what I do is I will go through the documentary. Anytime they bring up a name or a place or a person that I'm not aware of, I will Google the name and then I'll look and see what they've written about the issue to supplement what they're saying here. And then I just kind of move on from there and then sometimes we'll do the wiki articles. I think for the chemical weapon attacks in Syria, I started with Wikipedia, and then anytime I came up against a place or a name that I didn't recognize, I would just Google the name or place and then go from there, pretty much. You gotta stop saying that you wouldn't live in Omaha if Nathan didn't exist. It will bite you in the butt soon when Nathan starts seeing those videos. Why? Why can't my kid have a realistic view of me? I don't buy into that unconditional love, everybody. Fuck that shit. That's fucking retarded, dude. If that's the relationship you have with your parents, that's fine, but... Destiny not mentioning that he's been in TeamSpeak for like 6 hours a day, talking to people about shit, implying he's doing all this research on his own. I'm not doing it all on my own. I'm also... Why do you... Never mind. Obviously, I'm talking to a lot of people on TeamSpeak as well. Yankee Doodle and Hadri know a lot of shit about this stuff too. Don't show dead people. Oh, I guess these are dead people. Right. Are you one of those fucking people that squeezes a fucking bottle of water when you drink out of it? Dude, these things are like the cheap plastic ones you get from like fast food places. These things like break like nothing. What the fuck, dude? So right now, I guess I'm still focused on geography a lot. I think that knowing all of the geography helps, right? I think I'm doing pretty good on these now. I know where all the major countries in the Middle East now. I still mix up some of the top right ones. Knowing the geography and knowing the political affiliations of everybody, I think is what I'm trying to get down now. Because I've noticed that a lot of the shit that goes on in the Middle East falls along Sunni Shia divides. That like that seems to be like a big meme. Oh hey, what's up?
Hey.
Maybe you should start with knowing the geography of the world. Why the fuck? I don't care about the rest of the world right now. What the fuck? Why would I go and learn the geography of the entire world when I'm just focusing on this region? Okay, sorry. Okay, we're going to do our Sunni Shia quiz again. Okay? All right. So, Saudi Arabia are majority Sunnis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Iraq right now is majority Shias. They used to be ruled by the Baaths that were majority Sunnis, or that party was Sunnis, but they were the minority of the country, right? Mm-hmm. Al-Qaeda and everybody to the north of them, Al-Qaeda and ISIS were Sunnis, right?
What do you mean, Al-Qaeda and everyone north of them?
Al-Qaeda and ISIS, those people to the north.
Yeah.
And then like Mosul and whatnot to the north, where most of the Sunnis were living in Iraq, right?
To the north of Iraq.
No, not to the north. In northern Iraq.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
right. Mosul is up there, and Mosul had most of the Sunnis in Iraq, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. In Syria, I haven't gotten to doing the Syrian civil war yet, but I'm guessing that Assad is a Shia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Which makes sense because Baghdadi and the Julani guy were trying to get the Sunni conflicts intermingled between these two regions because the rebels are primarily Sunnis in Syria, right?
Or where?
In Syria, the rebels are primarily Sunni fighters?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about Lebanon. Who's in Lebanon?
Lebanon, they have they have Sunni, Shia, and Christians.
Okay, I
and
don't.
they kind of work together a bit. But,
Okay,
the Shia there is Hezbollah.
gotcha. Yemen right now
Helps.
is very closely divided between Sunni and Shia, right?
Yemen?
Yemen.
Yemen has a Sunni leadership, and they have the Houthis.
They still have a Sunni leadership?
No, not anymore.
Not,
but
yeah, that was the last guy,
yeah.
right? Was the Sunni leadership. Okay. The UAE is Sunni, right? And then Qatar, where you're from, is Sunni, right?
Yeah.
The Bahrain place, what do they do for any? Are they? Doesn't matter.
They have a Sunni leadership with a Shia population.
Okay. Iran is Shia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which is why they supported Maliki.
Yeah, the Ayatollah is in Iran.
The Ayatollah, is there only one or whatever? How does that work?
It's their like Shia religious head, I guess you could say.
Okay. And everybody recognizes him as the religious head?
Kind of, yeah. As in, yeah.
Gotcha. And then Pakistan and Afghanistan. Does anybody? What is Afghanistan? Is that even like a real country? Do they have like a government and shit? I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about them ever since after the war.
Okay.
I haven't looked at Afghanistan.
What about Pakistan? I'm gonna guess. Is Pakistan? Hold on. Pakistan Shia?
Sunni.
They're Sunni. Okay.
Yeah, 5 to 20% of it is like Shia.
And they're run by Sunnis?
Yeah.
So does that mean that Pakistan and Iran don't get along with each other?
Not as much, but their big deal is with Afghanistan more, since the Taliban memes with them a bit.
Okay. I've heard claims in the past, but I haven't researched any of these. Does Pakistan fund terrorism? It wouldn't make sense that they would fund like Al Qaeda or whatever. If they were funding terrorists, it would be very different than who like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar would fund, right?
It's a different situation because they fund attacks that happen within India, as well as they fight the Taliban that are in Pakistan.
Okay. So I think that. Do you agree then? It seems like a lot of the conflict in this region falls on Sunni Shia divides for the most part. It's kind of
I
how
would
it
say
seems.
so. Yeah, that's how it ended up, but it's mostly a power struggle because the two really powerful nations are Iran and Saudi Arabia, and all the rest is just taking sides on that big issue of the region.
Gotcha. And then right now, the leader of the Al Qaeda is still the Zahiwi. Or what the fuck? What was the guy's name?
Zawahiri.
Zawahiri? Is that how you pronounce it? Zawahiri?
Yeah, you could say it like that. People would know what you mean.
Okay. And then Baghdadi is still alive somewhere. And then the Nusra Front and the Julani guy. I guess that's Syrian Civil War shit. I'll do that. That's what I'm going to learn tonight, okay? That's the dream tonight. Do you know a lot about the Syrian Civil War? Do you feel like you do?
Not as much as ISIS.
Greater than TFW, most obvious fake, but since I'm not T4 anymore, I get banned for it, fellas.
I know the beginnings of it, and I know the general area they're going, but...
Gotcha.
You know, specific group names and tactics and stuff.
Sure. Is Jordan, what are these guys?
Jordan is Sunni.
Okay, so I guess if you look at it, so the only Shias are Iran and Iraq's majority and Assad. Those three are the only big like Shia memers in the Middle East.
Syria specifically is what they call Alawites, but it's part of the same school of thought as Shia. That's why it's people kind of hesitate a bit, but it is still considered Shia.
Okay.
You can also include Bahrain, but you know it's Bahrain, whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. I love you. I'll be here for another 6 hours tonight. Have fun. Rip on. The real question is, where is Tajikistan? I don't know. It's one of these, it's one of these 4. I don't think it's this one. I think it might be this one. Oh, God, I'm a fucking god. Kyrgyzstan is this one right here. And then the rest are easy. If you can get like these 4, then everything is easy, right? You know that Georgia is up here. Cyprus is a little Mimir island. Armenia is south of Georgia. Turkey is a big guy up here. A big guy for you. Lesbians are right down here. Turkmenistan is one of these 2. It's another weird one. Just because nobody gives a fuck about these. I think it's this one. Palestine is not even a real country, but it's over here. Pakistan is south of Afghanistan, right here. Syria is this Mimir. Iraq is here. Bahrain is a non-existent Mimir right here. Kazakhstan is the big Mimir up here. Azerbaijan, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that. It's this dude right here. The UAE is right here. Uzbekistan, I think is this one right here. Fuck. Oh no, I already said that was... Oh no. It's got to be this guy. No, that's Tajikistan. Then it's got to be this guy. It's this guy. Fuck me. Israel is over here. Jordan is right here. Kuwait is here. Saudi Arabia is this huge dude. Iran is this fucking huge dude. Yemen is this shithole right here. Oman is next to them, but they don't do anything. No one cares about them. Afghanistan is here. Qatar is rich as fuck right here. Almost. I'm pretty sure I know this geography better than my own country right now. Okay, we're doing it, dude. One day at a time. One day at a time. Are you planning to debate Ryan Dawson again? Yeah, I would like to, but it's going to take me a little bit of time because I'm playing catch-up. Where is Sharima? Once you read about the rise of the Taliban, you will start to realize the importance of those northern... Oh, maybe. I don't know if I'll ever do anything about the Taliban, though. Or read anything about the Taliban. Because the next thing tonight is going to be on the Syrian civil war is what I'll be looking into, I think. Do you know the differences between Sunni and Shia? So one of the big memes that I've realized... I don't even know if I want to talk about this because I'm just going to get really rustled. One of the things that I've been realizing in all of the research I've done so far, obviously only 2 days worth, so not much, but nothing has really had anything to do with religion up to this point. Everything has been very political. I don't know what the religious differences of Sunni and Shia are yet, but I'm not even sure if it's mattered in any of the reading I've done up to this point. Like, I don't think the religious differences have been relevant at all. Is there a particular reason why you focus on the Middle East policies when the debate was about which is the better candidate? Because that guy had a lot of information about the Middle East, so I would like to get myself onto an equivalent platform, or at least something close to it, so that I could challenge him on any of his things in the Middle East. Because he was pretty much saying that that Hillary Clinton is like... I don't know, like some of the statements that he said I felt were false, but I didn't have as much background to say they were false. Like the fact that like we are funding ISIS. Like I don't think that's true, but I don't have the knowledge to counter him on it, right? What are your thoughts of Maliki after that documentary we saw yesterday? So the leader that the United States pushed for, that was the prime minister of Iraq for so long, this is a guy called Maliki, is like the worst fucking thing. This is probably the biggest reason why the Iraqi mission, quote unquote, failed, or at least did up until their current prime minister, who seems to be pretty chill. The Maliki dude is just the biggest scumbag, cuckfuck piece of shit. And he's literally like Saddam Hussein 2.0, except he was backed by the United States. Like... I don't know. The Maliki dude was a huge fucking mistake. And there were so many warnings that went to the White House about how much of a huge fucking mistake the Maliki guy was. I'm not really sure. I don't know what the incentive was for the United States to back him. I don't know. The Mosul statement Hillary made was true, which your debate partner said was false. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Mosul is close enough to the border. Mosul is like fucking 50 miles from the border. I don't know if I buy that it's such... And also, I'm not sure where the Kurdish people live. You could maybe argue that Mosul is literally right on the border of, what do they call it, like Kurdistan or whatever? Oh fuck, do they not draw the borders as hard here? I'm gonna guess that yellow is Kurdish. Baghdad and Fallujah here are in the center, so Mosul should be to the north. It's probably this shit right here. And then, is this here the actual Iraqi border? So, I mean, you could argue that, like, Mosul is right on the border of... Is Kurdistan what they call... like the unofficial place that the Kurds live.
Can we just watch more whiner memes? Da fellas.
Mosul. So like this is something that I could have called him out on, but I really didn't know. I had no idea what the I didn't know beforehand. Like being totally honest, I just had no fucking idea, right? So Hillary Clinton made a statement, an offhanded remark about how Mosul's right on the border, and then he went deep saying like, oh, Hillary's an idiot. Why would she say that Mosul's on the border? Technically, Mosul is 50 miles from the Iraqi border, but Mosul is very close to the border of where the Kurdish people, who are the Peshmerga, live in Iraq, which is not like, and even being 50 miles from the border isn't really that bad of a statement, I don't think. But I mean, you could even maybe make the claim that like Mosul is on the border of Kurdistan. It's very close to it. Like, and again, like I'm assuming the yellow on this map is probably the Kurdish people. I don't know why it extends so far down into here. I don't know much about the Kurds or the history of the Kurds yet, other than everybody kind of uses them to achieve a political memes. Am I debating that guy again today? No, it'll be probably a couple weeks. Kurdistan was a country, but Turkey invaded it. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to believe you yet, but that would explain why the PKK hate the Turks so much. Is this green presence here? Is this Turkey? It's a guess. Or not Turkey, but Turkish presence into Syria? Okay. So from what I understand so far, and I haven't gotten into the Syrian civil war yet, but from what I understand so far, the reason why Turkey is moving into Syria is because they don't want all these yellow memers, even though the Kurdish people are all yellow memers, they're not necessarily on the same page. But what Turkey doesn't want is Turkey doesn't want the PKK and the YPG, which are different Kurdish factions, grouping together and consolidating their power, because Turkey is worried that they're going to get fucked up by them. So Turkey has moved into Syria a little bit to occupy this territory to keep these Kurds from having a happy reunion, I think was the meme. Isn't there a chance that maps like this are going to be biased to show that we're winning? Maps like this? I don't even know who's responsible for publishing this map, but I've never heard the claim levied before that this map is biased. Turkey does not want a Kurdistan. Well, yeah, because the Kurds that live in Turkey are fucking crazy. The PKK dudes are like legit terrorists, aren't they? That's what I've heard. I haven't studied that independently or verified that on my own, but the YPG is the Free Syrian Army. No, they're not the same thing. The YPG are the Kurdish people. They might be part of the Free Syrian Army or part of that coalition, but the YPG is the group of Kurdish people that exist in Syria. Those are Syrian Kurds on the left. Yeah, this group right here should be the YPG. YPG is Syria. PKK is Turkey. I don't know which groups of here are the PKK. And then Peshmerga are the Iraqi Kurds. Destiny, explain to me, how is it that in the last 2 decades we had how many 2 to 4 groups of so-called terrorists? Do you really want to go into this? I'm not sure. I can't speak to Taliban or Al-Qaeda. Destiny, you will never understand the whole of it, man. Nowadays, interests are so complicated, you need to dedicate a life to know what's going on. I don't agree with that. I think that in my very short life, with the very limited amount I know of history, it seems to me that the more you learn about something, the more like, the more it makes sense, the more obvious everything becomes. For instance, Al-Qaeda existed. Okay, so Al-Qaeda existed in the northern parts of Iraq, and Al-Qaeda was shitters. They had fuck all. They had nothing, right? Al-Qaeda was pretty much completely fucked in Iraq. They had been completely destroyed by both the American and the Iraqi campaigns, and they pretty much didn't exist at much of any point in 2012 in Iraq. There were still a few memers left, but not many. Baghdadi, I think, the memer who was leading the Iraq division of Al-Qaeda, decided to send a bunch of boys over to Syria to try to see if they could recruit people from over there, right? And the idea was that some of the people suffering in Syria were Sunnis, and a lot of the people suffering in Iraq were Sunnis, that maybe they could go over to Syria, recruit some people off of that, and be big memers, right? So one of the guys that Baghdadi sent was a guy called Julani, who was native Syrian to himself. And over the next 12 months, this guy was like a fucking recruitment level 50 monster. He recruited a fuck ton of people. He recruited so many people. And these guys became known as the Al-Nusra Front. And they were the most formidable fighting rebellion group in all of Syria. These guys were crazy. I don't know the specifics of how he was able to recruit so much other than he was Syrian. And maybe he's a really good recruiter, but yeah, they grew to become, the Al-Nusra Front became the most formidable fighting rebellious faction in Syria. The leader of, no, not the leader. So the Baghdadi guy in Iraq decided that because Al-Qaeda was doing so well in Syria, he wanted to intermingle both of these conflicts because both of these guys represented Sunnis that were being fucked in both places, and wanted to make them into a super terrorist group by combining both of them, right? Called the Islamic State of Syria and Iraq, ISIL or whatever, right? The Gilani guy didn't like that. Baghdadi didn't give a fuck. The Al-Qaeda dude, I keep forgetting his name, the Ziwawari, whatever Hadri said earlier, the Al-Qaeda dude said that both of you guys should exist separately and just fucking chill and don't try to combine or any stupid shit like that. Baghdadi didn't care. He invaded these guys. He fucked him up, took 80% of his fighters and kicked Gilani the fuck out. The Al-Qaeda dude got really fucking mad and said, well, fuck you. I hate all of you. And then ISIS was born pretty much from under the Baghdadi dude. The reason why the Baghdadi guy was able to gain as much influence as he did was because Sunnis are getting fucked in all of these territories. So in Iraq, the previous party that held power was the Ba'ath Party. This was the party of Saddam Hussein. Now, Saddam Hussein ran a fucking autocracy, okay? He was a dictator. There was only one political party that was allowed in office, okay? And these people were Sunnis, who were the minority of the country, who oppressed Shias, the majority of the country. Well, when the United States comes in, kicks all of the Ba'aths out of the government, as part of their contractual obligation, said that they're not allowed to ever run for government again. Well, now the Shias come in power. And one of the people that they put in power for the Shias is a guy called Maliki, okay? The Maliki dude is fucking crazy. This guy grew up being part of the Dawa party, Maliki Dawa, right? I think is what it's called. This guy had literally like family members killed when he was a kid by crazy fucking Sunnis. So this dude comes up into power now after he's been exiled from his country, comes into fucking power. Now it's like revenge time for the Shia people, right? So the Shias, who were the majority, are now in power. All of the Sunnis are shoved off into places, locked into prisons, locked into torture camps, just shot on the side of the road. Like, it's pretty much like a reverse fucking massacre where all of the Shia people now have the opportunity to go fucking kill all of the fucking Sunnis that were oppressing them for so long. So all of the Sunnis in the country are obviously feeling like, well, fuck, now we're getting fucked. And that creates an easy breeding ground. And it doesn't help that this Maliki guy is insane. He thinks that everybody's trying to kill him. The day that the Americans left, the next day, he fucking rolls a fucking M1 tank up to like his vice president's house and like fucking kills his brother and is trying to find the dude because he's a Sunni and he thinks he's gonna fucking kill him. Like, the Maliki dude is fucking crazy. And it creates a breeding ground that makes it really easy for. This is why when 800 ISIS fighters roll into Mosul, they're able to take over the entire city because all of the Sunnis living in Mosul hate the fucking government, right? Like, they're like, fuck that shit. 800 ISIS fighters roll into a city with a population of like 1.8 million and capture the entire city. The Iraqi military is thrown the fuck out. Sunni insurgency goes rampant in the city because they all fucking hate the majority there. They hate the Shias now. And yeah, basically just became the Maliki shit, though. The Maliki shit, everybody was calling. Like, there are so many different people. This is a really, really, really good article on this. This is a really, really, really good article on this. This guy right here is the Maliki dude. The Maliki dude is fucking crazy. He fucked up everything. He fucked up the whole mission in Iraq. No, but not even. The United States fucked up by staying next to him. In March of 2010, they held elections and he lost. And then they went into negotiations for 10 months so that he could still be prime minister. Like, yeah, I don't know. The Maliki dude fucked a lot of shit up. And on top of that, like, he was also trying to get help from like Iran at the same time, who we fucking hate. Like, I don't know. Hillary owns the Washington Post. You can't trust it. So it's Bush's fault? No, it's not Bush's fault. It's largely Obama's fault. Because the Obama administration, when all of the Sunnis were looking to the United States to take a stand against what Maliki was doing, Washington was fucking silent. Obama never took a hard public stance against Maliki and the literal, not genocide, but like the borderline fucking genocide that Maliki was launching against these people. What was the, city? A bunch of protesters were slaughtered. I want to say like Nawia. Oh, Hawija. Like, Maliki literally rolled up the fucking military into these fucking protest camps that have been peacefully protesting for like 12 months and just fucking destroyed everything. By April of 27th, more than 300 people were reported killed and scores more injured in one of the worst outbreaks of violence since the U.S. withdrawal in December. But Bush put him there, didn't he, Destiny? It's his fault. Bush might have put him there, but the Obama administration never reined him in. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the I don't understand. I don't know why. I can't make sense of it. I would have to listen to somebody that's very pro-Obama and knows a lot about this part of the world to explain to me why the United States continued to back Maliki and wouldn't publicly. I guess they can't publicly chastise them because it puts them in an awkward position. I'm not sure. Assuming that U.S. foreign policy is not ran by retards and what you were talking about was considered, what would be the interests/arguments in favor of keeping Maliki in power? It seems to me like it was just a gamble. They kind of hoped that Maliki would eventually kind of mellow out, I think. Oh, that's true too. I'm sorry. One of the big memes, and this guy actually brings it up. I think he brings it up a little bit, but I've read it in other articles. One of the big memes is that there was a lot of pressure domestically. There were two different things going on. One, 2007, 2008 happened with the housing crisis. Nobody wanted to fucking hear anything about Iraq, which I think was around the time that this guy came in power, like around like 2006. Hold on. We can find it exactly. But during this time of Maliki and his government succeeded the Iraq Transitional Government. His first cabinet was for the National Assembly and was sworn in on the 20th of May, 2006. So around this time when this guy starts fucking with shit, this guy doesn't, like, the United States is undergoing turmoil economically. Nobody wants to hear anything about Iraq. Nobody wants to hear about us trying to rein in anybody on Iraq. Nobody wants to hear about U.S. presence in Iraq. Basically, the U.S. public was sick of Iraq, and I don't think anybody wanted to tackle the issue. But I think that the reason why we stayed out of these areas had more to do with politics than military rationale, right? Was the thing that Dawson brought up about how Obama faked nuclear December by redefining total warheads as total ICBMs true? I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up yet. I haven't gotten to that. Isn't there a tinfoil hat explanation that the U.S. wants the entirety of the Middle East constantly destabilized for the sake of Israel and Saudi allies? No, I don't think so. Because I feel like... Where is Hadri at? This is going back. I can only make guesses based on what I know now. But I feel like most people in the Middle East would have been okay with Saddam Hussein because Saddam Hussein was a big thorn in the side to Iran, and he kept those fuckers in check. Saddam Hussein was a part of the Ba'ath Party who represented the Sunni minorities. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE are all Sunnis. These are people that all fund, or private citizens from these places, all fund terrorists now, but I mean, that makes sense, right? Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, and even there's a fucking rich businessman in Jordan that did it, that was part of the Frontline documentary, are sending money to the people representing the Sunni interests in northern Iraq because Sunnis are being fucked, because Sunnis are literally being fucking genocided, right? Like, why do you think that Muqtada al-Sadr come back to Iraq? Who was that guy? Hold on, I don't remember the name. I hate all of their fucking names. He's later political in the Saturist movement and the leader of Sharia al-Salam, a Shiite militia that is a reformation of the previous militia-led Destiny, the Charge of the Knights. Oh, was this the guy? Oh, shit. Was this the guy? Fuck, I mixed the names up. So the Maliki guy, at one point, was this the guy that the Maliki guy thought was going to kill him? Maliki thought that this dude had a plot against him, so he literally hops into a fucking motorcade and just barrels down towards this dude, who I think has had the support of Iran for, like, his entire fucking life. Like, even the United States didn't fuck with this dude. And Maliki hopped into a fucking car and drove his fucking ally, or drove his fucking dudes down to go fuck with him. And, like, in the meantime, I think the United States is communicating with him, like, yo, dude, this is fucking suicide, don't do it. I think this whole meme was called the Charge of the Knights, I think is what they called this thing. Okay, so this was the dude. This was the guy that Maliki thought was going to kill him, and he decided to run down this Iranian-backed dude. Iranian-backed guy. And he's a Shia, and Iran is Shia, so it makes sense, right? To be fair, he was right. How the fuck do we know who wanted to kill him? No, he wasn't right. The guy's fucking crazy. He thinks that everybody wants to kill him. He thought that literally everybody wanted to kill him all the time. Like, he was crazy. He grew up crazy. But they won. Yeah, somehow they won. I don't know how they won this fight. I think the Americans and Brits helped. I don't know how much bombing was done, but let's see. This fight happened in southeast Iraq. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have to read more about the specific conflict to know how they won. I don't know. They didn't help. It was a big shock. Iraqi forces faced heavy resistance from Mahdi army militia inside the city, and the offensive stalled, requiring American, British air and artillery support, eventually resulting in a stand. I mean, that sounds like they helped. But yeah, everybody thought this was a suicide mission. I don't know how he won this fight. I don't know. I would have to go and look. I'm not sure. Is Iran inside of Iraq or backwards? Iran supported some people in Iraq. Iran is ran by Shia dudes, and right now the majority in Iraq are Shia dudes. And they used to be ruled by the minority Sunni dudes under the Ba'ath Party, which was Saddam Hussein, which is why I think we liked Saddam Hussein, because Saddam was a big memer that gave the finger to Iran. Yeah, but Iran, I think, tries to have presence in Iraq, and this used to be a big guy that they supported, this dude, but he got ran out. I guess he came back now? I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to that. But, yeah, this guy is pretty influential, even though he's not he's not in government or anything. Destiny getting all the Sunni and Shia backwards. What am I getting backwards? What was one Sunni or Shia thing that I mixed up there, Kalik? Have you looked into the start of the Syrian war? No, that's going to be tonight, I think. Why did everyone in America hate Saddam? I have no fucking idea. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know why we went into there. Maybe the Iraq war will be the thing I'll do the day or tomorrow or whatever. Why did the U.S. want Saddam dead again if the WMDs were a meme? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. You said Iran, Shia, Iraq used to be ruled by minorities, Sunni, Ba'ath, Destiny. Yeah, what's wrong about that? The Iran memers are Shia. Where's my map? Iran, Syria, and Iraq. Iraq are majority Shia, ran by Shia now. Assad is a Shia memer, or some branch off of Shia, and Iran are Shia. Am I wrong? And Saddam Hussein was a Sunni dude. Maybe because of the invasion of Kuwait and a literal genocide. Yeah, but the United States doesn't care about that shit that much. Let's be real now. And announced that he wasn't going to sell his oil in USD. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think Iraq is majority Shia. There's a big population in the south, and the rest are Sunni. What? Are you sure? I don't think that's true. 2/3 of the population of Iraq are Shia Muslims. In addition, Iraq is the site of the holy cities of Najaf and Karbala, pilgrimage sites for millions of Shia Muslims. So no, I don't think that's true. How neat of you to completely ignore Israel in this story. Does Israel have anything to do with this right now? Why did the USA fuck with Gaddafi? I don't know. I haven't gotten into that yet. Do you think the U.S. military-industrial complex plays a role in these conflicts? I'm not sure. I don't understand that. I don't know. I would have to see where all the money goes or who's getting paid. Israel wants the region to be destabilized so there is no power to challenge them. Who challenges Israel right now? Is Iran actually going to go over and march on fucking Israel? Iran has promised to nuke Israel when they have the power to? What the fuck? Wow, Joel, welcome to the Tier 4 Summer Clubber. Look at all these places. Wow. Welcome to the league. Okay, so we know that Baghdad and Fallujah are in the middle of Iraq, right? And then to the north we have Mosul. And then that river that runs down them is called the... Is it the Tigris River? That runs down from Mosul? Is it this thing that cuts the city in half? I don't know what it's called. Oh shit, is that the name? Oh, there it is. The Tigris River. And then over in Syria, we have Tartus is over here. This is the warm water port that Russia's interested in. Damascus is the capital down here somewhere. Where is Damascus? Oh, it's this right here. And then the big chemical weapon attack meme occurred in this region right here in eastern Ghouta. Is that what this is right here? East and West Ghouta? Is it these two spots, I think? Wow, what a meme. Why is that city in Syria that is at the northwest peak of the red area? Do you mean Gary Johnson, the city? I said we should legalize marijuana. What did that have to do with anything? Oh my god. Dude, I had the craziest fucking dream. I was flying back from someplace and I had to wait in a bus stop for like 8 hours, I guess. I don't know why. And I met some dude and we got along like really well. And for some reason, I just remember thinking we were talking for like hours. And I remember thinking that like, man, I wish I could date this guy, but it sucks that he's a guy. And then afterwards, he said the same thing to me. And then he revealed that he was actually a transgendered. He was like a female to male, but he wasn't actually a guy. And then he decided that he didn't want to be transgendered anymore so that we could date each other. I don't remember. This is like a very vivid dream. I don't know why. But yeah, that's quite the meme.